the North. Known for its industry, hard-working and innovative people, we are the engineers of the past and always look for solutions for the future. Our creative North wants to celebrate that and show the world what we can do.
Welcome to Our Creative North, the show that celebrates the creative and digital media sector right here in the north of England. Today we've got a great show for you where we send one of our pioneers, George, who thinks he's a bit of a whiz at driving, onto one of these driving simulators. And we also get to visit a company called Drummond Central, who are doing fantastic things right here in the north of England for their clients. But first, let's go and see George.
Hi, my name is George Crerar and today I'm going to Tadea UK. Today I'm going in and hopefully I'm going to improve the driving skills a bit more. I would class myself already as a pretty safe driver, considering I did pass my test with no minors.
Hi, I'm Michael Nugent and I'm a driving simulator officer. Right, to start with, okay, what we're going to be doing today is hazard perception, okay? Do you know anything about hazard perception?
Just what I did in my theory test.
Yeah, theory test. It's similar to that, cool. But obviously it's going to be a little bit more intense than it was on the actual theory test itself, okay? I'll give you that. I'll also give you a pen as well. There's a little table there for you to use. So perceiving the hazard, how could you identify a strong wind before you actually get into it?
Either trees and that blowing ahead of you, or like grass and stuff.
Rubbish blowing across the road, those wheelie bins possibly toppling over, pedestrians getting blown off course.
Yeah, like hair.
Yeah, anything like that. And be careful as well when you've got gaps between trees, hedgerows and buildings as well, because that's where you suddenly get the gust of wind coming down that sort of alleyway.
Yeah.
So if you can predict again where it's going to be, even looking at the vehicles in front of you, a large vehicle can quite easily get blown off course. So if you can predict where it's going to be, what would you do to counteract it?
Just ease off, like give yourself plenty of room.
Anything else you would do? Keep it in a straight line?
Like hold on tight.
Tighter grip of your steering, yeah, because that's the type of thing that's going to happen. So you can be all prepared for it, but it can still take you by surprise. So there's that type of thing again you can tend to predict.
Yeah.
What about the ice and snow? We can include in with that.
Like ridiculously slippy. It's just like if it's like sheet ice, then your tires are not going to get any grip.
Yeah.
So you just kind of slide all over.
Good. Well, have you learned anything from this? Yeah. So hopefully when you go out on the road, you're going to put that into practice. But for the next part of the session, we're going to find out exactly what you've learned by putting you through the simulations.
So in the simulator, I'm going to try and take everything on board that I've learned in the classroom. Hopefully I could make it count when it comes to the scoring system and get a pretty good score. I'm pretty confident.
Right, so these are the simulators. Today, to start with, you're going to be on what we call the small sims.
Cool.
To start with, doing hazard perception.
Yeah.
And then we're going to finish off in the full-size simulator, the mini, in case to do adverse weather.
Yep.
It's just the same setup as a normal car, the only difference is you haven't got a key to start it. Okay? So, remembering what we did in the classroom about hazard perception, okay? What we're asking you to do is, when you see anything that's potential hazard, you either press the horn in the centre, or use this trigger here to pull it back fully, like your headlight flasher. Okay. On the screen in front of you, we'll have a ×1 with a flag, or a ×2, no matter how many times you've actually flagged it. But if you're comfortable there, what we're going to do to start with is put you on a free drive, which is just to get used to the feel of the simulator itself. Alright? So if you just want to press the horn in the centre there, read the instruction on the screen.
No speed.
And then when you're ready, just press the horn again, and that will start the scenario off. There's single hazards to begin with, but you might find, or you might feel, there's more than one hazard. So don't worry if you're clicking it for every single thing that you see.
Okay.
Alright, so when you're ready, if you just want to beep the horn, that will start the scenario off. So you're looking for potential, changing to developing. And also remember in class we said the what if question. So it could be, what if there was traffic lights suddenly change? So that could be a potential hazard, the green traffic light. So a little bit early with your brakes there, yeah, just to keep your speed down. Now once this spotted the actual hazard that you've spotted,
you have arrived at your destination.
So you've got top marks on that one.
Almost rear-ended the
Just be careful, as I say, with your brakes. all the scores that you've got on here have been recorded in my control room. Right. So the time it's going to take us to deal with the minis, hopefully we should have a scorecard for you. So you can just beat your horn again there and that'll end it. That's it. How did you feel with that?
Pretty good.
You learned? Yeah? So you've learned not to keep too close to the vehicle ahead.
Yeah.
Use your brakes earlier so you don't get too close. Spot the hazards not just on the road ahead but all around you. And this is the difference between this and your hazard perception on your theory test. Because on your theory you're just looking at a screen directly ahead. Here you've got 3 screens, you've got mirrors. It can be happening behind you, either side of you and in front. And obviously you're in control of the vehicle as well. So it's more demanding being in this than it is doing your hazard perception. Okay, it's more realistic, more like the real thing.
And now on to the really fancy stuff. Tadea, you've got actual minis which have a wraparound screen. It feels like you're actually driving.
What I want you to do is just start your engine with a key. If it doesn't start, all I need to do is just hit the horn. And it should start it up.
Do the horn.
The horn doesn't work there, it works on either side.
Alright.
Again, it's a free drive along the motorway. The same thing, but it's just, again just to get you used to the feel of the scenario.
Is it started?
Hit the horn again.
Someone else
Moving off when you're ready. And just to get you used to the feel of the Mini itself. And then now you can see what's happening behind you as well. In there, adverse weather. Follow the road at a safe speed whilst being aware of and avoiding potential safety hazards. You can do the same on this, okay? When you see the hazards, remember that's your horn rather than the centre on the Mini. Okay? Now at the base of a hill, you normally find that's where water collects. It's a cool day, so it's likely to be ice.
Just slow this man right down.
So you feel it's got less grip on the road, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's much lighter. So when you're taking corners, just ease off the gas a little bit. Looking further ahead, we can see there's a bus at the bus stop, so you might want to start to slow down using your brakes there. Because what could be behind the bus?
Can I be at the car for pulling out?
Yeah. So you sometimes find when buses pull away from stops, people sometimes step out behind it, don't they?
Oh yeah.
So the tree line's disappearing now. What's likely to happen now as regards weather?
It's going to get a bit foggy. Or rain.
Just foggy.
Rain.
Coming to an open space, so what's going to happen here?
It's going to get windy. Holding on. Well, it's always doing that, I'd probably get arrested.
But you controlled it.
But we were going to have that bridge.
Well, if it had, we'd just restart the scenario. But again, in real life, think of the consequences.
You have arrived at your destination.
So again, handbrake into neutral.
It's actually pretty scary when the cars like crash into you and that, like it actually feels quite real. So yeah, just hopefully can get a bit better at it so I'm not crashing all the time.
Well, I hope you can too, George. These crazy youngsters think they know everything about driving. It takes years to master the art.
On pages 8, 9 and 10 there is a short answer question section there.
Okay.
So you just need to work through the questions, putting in your answers to what you've learnt in the class and also what you've learnt on the simulators as well there.
And then George has to get down to a good old-fashioned exam.
It's been really interesting actually to see the sort of the things that I did already know, but like just to recap them and like actually seeing it on a simulator as to how it could happen in real life. And at least with the simulator you get a couple of tries with it to like understand what's happening and then like learn what you would actually do in that situation.
The first hazard, with a possible score of 5, you scored 4. The second one, I don't know whether you can remember what that one was. It was when you came around the corner when you seen the roadwork sign and the bulldozer was there. Yeah? And you pulled out and obviously crashed into the vehicle. So unfortunately you scored 0 on that one. On the first multi-hazard, out of a possible 15, you scored 8. On the final multi-hazard, with a possible 20, you got 16. So out of a possible 45, you got 28, you passed. So that's your score there for your record. Okay? So well done today there, spot on.
And next on to Rob, who will lead us into the break.
Well, George looks like he's having a fantastic time at Tadea and probably not as good a driver as he thought he was. After the break, we get to see a fantastic company called Drummond Central and find out what they're doing right here in Jesmond.
Our business of the week will be Drummond Central. It's a digital agency based in Jesmond.
My name's Will and I'm a front-end web developer. I was inspired to be a front-end developer mainly because as I worked as a graphic designer, I really like to be able to interact with stuff online and create animations and really do something that the end user's gonna use. I love my job loads. I think the best thing about my job and the thing I love the most is working with, especially in this agency, is working with the top people in the local area for our industry. So that makes me really happy to work here.
My name is Chris Kemper and within the company I'm a developer specialising within back-end development. Well, I started out at college, but when I was at my old place, I started getting a bit pigeonholed into what I was doing and I didn't really like it anymore. So I was starting to look for something new, and around that time so I got approached, like say, with a new opportunity here at Drummond, and then thought that was good enough for me to take, so then I chucked the ship and leaving my first job, which is quite hard, then jumping over and coming to Drummond. I do really love my job. The amount of satisfaction and stuff you get out of just being able to do something you're genuinely passionate about every day is something you can't put really into words. I also have a great team around me. We've got a great environment here to work in. It's like a family, so it just makes you love all of it even more. And just when you actually get to be able to produce some really high quality stuff and put it out there and people actually enjoy it, you can't really. It just feels good.
My name's Kevin Lynn and I'm a graphic designer. I left school, I went straight to college, did 3 years there, and then I ended up getting a placement and realised that I loved it. I got my first job at a small local agency, and then I got a phone call the week after from the place that I was on my placement at, and they said they really wanted us to come in, and I stayed there for 3 years. Left there, then ended up at Drummond Central. Typography is like, you can make something from words, you make it into art. My proudest moment working for Drummond is we got a brief in to do the crest for Stoke City Football Club. Creating a new crest, we added to it, we took stuff away. To me, it was for someone who loves football. I was pretty proud of myself for that.
I'm Nicola Elgie. I'm an account executive at Drummond Central. Well, I was doing an arts foundation course at Newcastle College. A lady called Alison came in and gave a great talk about the advertising industry and marketing. She was really passionate and really inspired me to get a job in advertising. What I would say to young people looking to get involved in this industry is just be really proactive, be keen, be passionate. One of the things I do love about being an account exec at Drummond Central is that our heart is still in Tyne and Wear, still in Newcastle. We work on some really great brands, and me personally, I'm part of the account team that support those brands. We've got Tyne and Wear Metro, which is a great brand in the region, even for people who don't use it as a service. People know and respect it as part of the region.
Olivia Keithley, and I am an administrator at Drummond Central. My key interest is the department that I work in, is where accounts, but we're more like an office management department. We often get referred to as the backbone of the agency. We need to make sure that we know exactly what's going on in the agency, what people are doing, cost-wise and all that kind of stuff. And it's just really interesting. I love to work with every single person in the agency. I have to communicate with all of them on a daily basis, and it's just really fun. I'd say to young people that they just need to stick in, just try and get as much experience as possible, focus on things that they're really strong at, and just make sure that they have them up to scratch for when they do actually go and try and get a job in industry. I love working at Drummond Central. I wake up every morning and love going to work.
Marie Walker, and a junior graphic designer. It's great when I see my work being shown to the clients and they like my work and I hear good feedback. And I looked all over the place, like London, Manchester, locally as well. And I do love Newcastle. I think it's surprisingly a very creative place that people don't realise. And I was so happy when I seen this job being advertised, and I just went for it. And they work on all the clients I like and do the type of work I enjoy, and I felt like I could contribute too. So yeah, it was great.
great to have media companies like Drummond Central on the show, because not only are they doing fantastic things for this region, but they're leading the way in creative and digital media. Now off to Michael and Gordon and find out a little bit more about how their company started.
Before the break, we send George Crerar along to Tadea UK, based in Billingham.
My name is Gordon Patty. I'm the manager of Tadea's Effective Transport Solutions project.
Hi, I'm Michael Nugent and I'm a driving simulator officer. I started out as a driving instructor about 20 years ago now. I'm a grade A driving instructor, top grade, and this company came along last year to one of our instructor meetings. Really interesting, seemed to have a lot of potential. Went for interviews, passed all the interviews, got the job, and I've never looked back really with it. It's a really good addition to what I'm doing as a driving instructor.
I started off with this project designing it from a scrap of paper, basically. We had an initial concept. It was then my job to make that concept reality, which covered everything from securing premises, getting them designed, identifying a simulator manufacturer, writing the lesson plans, recruiting the staff, and then once the centre was up and running, starting to promote the centre, secure clients, and develop the business from there. We knew, once we saw the initial drawings of what this place was going to look like, that we wanted something that was going to be quite a winner and have quite a wow factor. Initially, we developed this just to continue delivering fuel-efficient driving lessons, but once we saw the complexity of the simulators that we commissioned, we realised we were just scratching the tip of the iceberg with these, and we needed to broaden the offer and start looking at typically fleet refresher training for drivers who are professional drivers, typically been driving for many years, but for whom a number of bad habits have crept in, possibly haven't revisited the highway code since they passed the test, and could do with some brushing up.
It's quite a difficult process because unlike where a learner has to do the hazard perception and the theory side of things, we've got to do the same, but it's a lot more intense. There's a lot more to do with the law side of things. Then we also have got to do the driving side of things. We've got to be advanced drivers, so we've got to show that we're capable of doing everything before we can teach the actual subject itself. And so there's 3 sets of exams that you have to do to become a driving instructor. I feel it's a really good, rewarding business being a driving instructor. Just seeing the look on people's faces when they've passed their test. The Mini itself is an actual car with the engine removed, and it's got a set of computers inside. It's also run by a whole bank of i7 processor computers, so there's quite a bit of technology involved. The wing mirrors on the vehicle itself aren't mirrors, they're actual computers, and we've got a back screen here as well, which generates an image for your rear view mirror. So anything that happens, the processor will obviously take you forward into the scenario, and it will react to what you do as well. So in other words, a scenario as you're driving along, if you're driving too slow, things will start to happen around you. The vehicle behind might get too close and crash into you, okay? Or if you get too close to the vehicle ahead, it might suddenly put its brakes on. So it will respond to what you do.
I'm enormously proud of the fact that the emergency services are interested in using this. We see our offer as more than just a training package. What we are looking for is long-term relationships with societal benefits. My first attempt at a simulator, on the small simulators, I took to them quite readily. The mini simulator, with its higher level of immersion, it took me a little while to get used to it. I felt a little bit disconnected, but with use came familiarity. We've developed the software quite significantly, so that there's a more realistic feel and less of a feeling of disconnect when you're in there. So now I'm completely comfortable with the things, and I can go flying around with the young lads.
And everybody that's come here and gone out of here have all learned something. They've all said it's really been a good learning experience. So it's really enjoyable to everybody and to us as well, seeing their faces when they come in and go out.
I think it's really interesting that you're able to come on a simulator, learn skills on a virtual world where anything can happen and you can do it as many times as you want to gain them skills, to then be able to transfer them into real life. When you're out in the car, you only get one chance at it really, and after being on the simulators, definitely got them skills now to go out in real life and use them. Definitely say the Mini was my favourite. Just having that like sort of feel of being in a real car, and like the screen that goes around you is just, it was just immense. Like, you just felt like you were there.
Well, you were there, George. That's the idea. Just like I'm here in my car recording this.
There we have it, another episode of Our Creative North, the only show that celebrates the creative and digital media sector right here in the north of England. Now, if you're a young person that wants to get involved with the show, or if you're a business that wants to hire an apprentice like these guys, please do get in touch. Until then, we'll see you next week.